Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Here you can see in front of you is a parcel that's just been delivered by the courier, DHL I do believe, and I've got a feeling, got an idea that I know what this is, so I thought it'd be good to just do the unboxing on camera. So let's get this thing opened. Okay, I could feel that anyway through the packaging, but I could tell that something had happened to this box. It's been, well, very crushed and squished. So hopefully everything will be okay when we get this open. So let's use my trusty scissors. Okay, there's plenty of bubble wrap, so that's pretty good. Let's put the box to the side. We'll just slide this out. And here we have. It is what I thought it was. So this is Samurai Spirits. This is, I went for this version. So Samurai Spirits Reboot, and this is for the PS4. It's in a lovely shop box, not like the original ones. It was like the later ones that SNK released with this, I think it was called a snap lock or whatever. So it's slightly different to the original ones, which I'll show you in a minute, but yeah, it's great. So let's get this open. Okay, as with anything that's shrink wrapped these days, took me about half an hour to get that off. But yeah, let's get this open. There we go. So we've got this inside. I'm going to lift the camera up, it's on the tripod, so sorry about the shakiness of that. So yeah, this is pretty good. Got this bit of foam in there. Let's get that out. We've got a booklet in there, a soft cover, not hard cover, and we actually have the game. Plenty of foam in there as well, so that's pretty good. Okay, you've got the SNK letter in there, which is raised, so that's pretty nice. Got the characters on the box, and obviously front cover and the side. So I think what we'll do, we'll get the game open first. Okay. So if we look inside, got the artwork on the disc. And we do actually have some stuff inside. So looks to be just a standard little couple of pages in this booklet with just the controls, just the generic controls, and also this as well. All in Japanese. I bought this from a Japanese seller. I pre-ordered this. It was a website that was recommended by quite a few people. Yeah, there's all of that. And the inside, you have their reversible artwork. on the cover, so that's quite nice. Okay, and we have this book as well. So this was, I believe, a limited edition or collector's edition version that I went for. I did have to pay a bit more money for this, and especially since I got this from Japan as well and had to pre-order it. So I think this all cost me about £80. But trying to figure out what's the best way to do this. Okay, we'll just have a flick through. So some really nice artwork in here. I love all of this stuff, as you guys know. I bought the SNK Early Works collection, and there was a book included with that as well, which was a hardback cover book, and that was fantastic. But this is great as well. I love all of this. I've been a long-time fan of the Samurai Shodown series, to be honest with you, or Samurai Spirits. Back in the early 90s, I remember a local independent game shop. Regular followers of my channel would have heard this story before, but there was a little independent game shop close to where I lived and close to the college that I attended back in the early 90s. And they had a lot of import systems, a couple of arcade machines, things like that. But they had an MVS arcade machine with Samurai Shodown, Samurai Spirits cartridge actually running in the machine. And they also had the AES console and sold the AES games. I mean, they cost a fortune back then. But it was the only shop, because the mainstream stores, I think it was Electronics Boutique back in the day in the UK, didn't sell the Neo Geo AES console. It's more for collectors and people with lots and lots of money. And that was my first experience seeing and playing on the AES and the MVS machines. And I played Samurai Shodown, and I just couldn't believe it. And I couldn't believe that you could get to actually own those games for the home, really. But if we look at through this, and it was many years later that I actually managed to pick up, I think it was about 10 or 11 years ago, I actually picked up my first Neo Geo AES with Samurai Shodown 1 and 2. They were my first games, and yeah, it just got me hooked. And then it was only a year or two ago that I picked up the Neo Geo MVS arcade cab. I've got a consolised MVS as well, but I have the games on Samurai Shodown games on the Neo Geo MVS as well. Okay, that's absolutely fantastic. So let's do that and that. Put that there. Okay, I went for this because obviously I'm a Neo Geo collector, long-time Neo Geo and SNK fan. So I wanted the shop box, but just to show you guys, I have the original AES games, and as we can see there, it's quite similar in size. I mean, that's Samurai Spirits 2, but if we look at Samurai Spirits, we can see that they have actually recreated the original original cover. In particular, the side art is almost identical. If you look at the front as well, it's pretty similar, although they've obviously modernised it. You've got the sword there through the samurai spirits. Yeah, it's absolutely great. And if we look at the reverse, there we go. I think they've done a great job with that, with recreating. I mean, I've showed these AES games before. You have obviously the cartridge. Put this down. The cartridge and the great manual there as well. That's fantastic. If you want to see more of my Neo Geo AES collection, please check out my collection video that I made quite some time ago. Please check that out. And that's Samurai Spirits 2. And I also have Samurai Shodown 5 for the PlayStation 2. So, yeah, picked this one up quite cheap. So this is just Samurai Shodown 5. It's not Samurai Shodown 5 Special, unfortunately, which I've discussed on my channel previously, that is my preferred version of Samurai Shodown 5. And also, I've got Samurai Spirits collection for the PlayStation 2. And I've done an extensive video of this in the past, and this is the collection of the Samurai Spirits games, 1 to 5 anyway. Number 6 isn't on here as far as I'm aware, but I was never too impressed with that game anyway. So that is the Samurai Spirits Reboot Collector's Limited Edition version on the PlayStation 4, which I imported from Japan. So what I'm going to do is get this into the PS4 and we'll check out some gameplay. Okay guys, we can see here that like most PS4 games, it's requesting an update file. Not the biggest, admittedly, but just thought I'd mention it, that it's going to take quite some time on my PlayStation 4, primarily because the PS4 is that I'm using at the moment is the other end of the house, away from the router, and yeah, get really bad signals, so things take absolute ages to download. Bigger files, I generally just move my PS4 into my office where I get the fastest connection, but just thought I'd highlight that to you. As we can see here, the main menu of the game, Samurai Spirits, powered by the Unreal Engine. It was all in Japanese, so I'm hoping that we get to change all of that. SNK.
武士道とは死ぬことと見つけたり、修羅道とは倒すことと見つけたり、我悪鬼羅刹となりて目の前の敵すべてを切る。
There's nothing but this. To be honest with you, apart from the trailer for this game, I've force myself not to actually watch any reviews or extensive gameplay videos of this on YouTube, and there are many, but I just haven't watched any of them. I just wanted to, experience this for myself and make up my own opinion on the game. But here we have loads and loads of Japanese. I have not got a clue what I'm selecting here, as I do not speak Japanese, but I'm hoping there's going to be an option to change this to English. Okay, again, no idea what that means. At least all of this is in English, but Big X is by everything, so I'm not sure what that's about. Go straight into the language options. See something I recognise there. English, always a good start. How do I select it? Come out of that. Let's go back in. This might take me a while, guys, to get around this in Japanese here. Selected that one. And that as well. Okay, which one do I select? I think that's the correct one. And you've got the little frog down the corner with an umbrella, and that indicated that it was actually saving my changes, the settings. And you've got another little creature down the bottom running. It's quite good little animations. Okay, let's check go in and have a look at the other settings. Most of these I'm going to leave on default, to be honest with you. It's the system settings. It's the sound settings, you can adjust the volume, character speech. Again, I'll leave it all on default. We have the display options. It's just the subtitles there, which generally I'll leave on. Game options, where you can adjust the match length, the rounds. Graphic violence down the bottom there is by default is turned to off. Let's flick that one to on. So I like my Samurai Shodown games to be uncensored and have all the violence intact. And let's just have a quick look at the button config. Okay, so it's the 4 buttons, typical Neo Geo. 4 main buttons, but then you can use the shoulder buttons as well to do a combination of those button combinations. So okay, interesting. All of these are still set. I've got the crosses by them. I can select any of these, but at the top right it says installing. There we go. So the installation process there at the top right, it's 50% now. Okay, I paused it while that was installing that update. It says now that the install has completed. So hopefully we will have access to all the other options. It's saving this, and here we go. We're all there now, uncrossed. Always like to have a look at the tutorial and training to begin with on these games. I don't go through everything, but I just have a quick look and get a little bit familiar with the moves. So we'll have a look at the tutorial. Okay, that loading wasn't the shortest of loading screens I've seen before, but we'll keep an eye on that. These are just the basic attacks. These graphics though are absolutely awesome. They really are. I mean, I've played all the Samurai Shodown games, but these character models look absolutely great. They've taken, by the look of things, they've taken the 2D characters and faithfully reproduced them in like a 3D environment or as 3D character models, and yeah, it looks absolutely great. My initial impressions of it. Little dude in the background, the little referee, these flags. Okay, so these moves are quite straightforward. I don't know why I actually selected this, to be honest with you. Let's go back to the tutorial menu. Let's see if we can have a look at the special moves, the more complex moves. Basic controls anyone should be able to do really if you've ever played a fighting game. Okay, let's have a look at the special moves then. Again, we've got the loading at the bottom there, so yeah, it doesn't go on for minutes and minutes, does it? The loading. I mean, I felt like it went on for about 20 seconds or even less than that, but today's standard, that we become impatient with things, so that seems like a long time, but we'll keep an eye on that when we actually have the proper game. Here we have the moves. It's just the basic, if you've played a Street Fighter game, it's the Dragon Punch move. It's pretty straightforward to do. Again, same thing with one of the harder attack buttons. Heavy slash. And this character I used to use in the previous Samurai Spirits games, and he had exactly the same moves, so that's good. Okay, you've got this rage meter down the bottom there, rage explosion. By hitting those 3 buttons, you'll trigger it. It's pretty good. The background changes slightly, gives almost like a mist effect. The colours change. That's pretty good. Devastating attack. Okay, I think we'll come out of this now. It's enough of the tutorial. Let's have a look at the. Should we have a look at the training? Okay, here are the characters. There's not hundreds and hundreds of characters like some games, but I have heard that this game will feature DLC, additional characters, things of that sort, which they often do with these games, just to get more money from you and everything else, and over time they'll add more and more characters. Looking through those characters, it's got a lot of the old classic characters from the Samurai Shodown games in it, but there are some definitely some characters that are missing. that I thought I would see in this, to be honest with you. One that comes straight to mind is it's like the Goblin character. It was like a green Goblin type character. Their claws. I did use him in the first Samurai Shodown game, but I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But yeah, I didn't see him there. I think there's a few others missing as well. He'll probably be a DLC character though. So there we had the stages, so I just selected one of them there. Here we've got the loading again. And there's Earthquake, literally classic character from the original Samurai Shodown games. I remember when I first saw him on screen when this game was running in the local independent game shop at the time in the early 90s on the Neo Geo AES and MVS system. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. The size of the character was just incredible. I was never very good with him though, but I always tended to use this character that I'm using now. Background stage is absolutely fantastic. The water in the background, you've got the trees, you've got the animals, bear. Pretty sure if this was real life though, the bear probably wouldn't be standing there watching you, probably be trying to eat you. But then you've got a sword, so yeah, perhaps he wouldn't approach you, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's brilliant effects. Graphics, the character graphics are superb. I love the thick black outline around the edge of the characters. That looks really good. The artwork's great. The backgrounds are superb. Character details are superb. The animations are great. So my initial impressions are pretty good of this game. And the moves don't seem to take a hell of a lot of damage, not like the original Samurai Shodown games where you could, well, I was often dead within a few moves when facing the computer opponents. Very, very difficult games they were, especially on the hit MVS level. We played it in the arcades, but even on the lower levels, 4 and 5, still difficult games. Just slashing to break up, getting used to pulling off some of these moves. Probably try to come out of this now. You've got the command list there. And check what all the moves are. We'll return to the main menu though. Okay, story mode is always a good one to start with, but let's have a look through. Let's have a quick look at these other options here. We've got battery database, gallery, so we've got player data there. Obviously I'm not going to have much there as I've only just started playing this, but as you go through the training modes, battle mode, survival, story mode, you'll build up your player data profile there. We've got the overall records. Okay, you can't access that at the moment, saying you need to update the network features, so that update needs to install. It's taking forever to load. We have the gallery, so we've got the sounds here. Oh, okay, so here you've got all the characters and you've got all their sound effects for their different moves, like slash, heavy slash, rage explosion, etc. If you ever wanted to listen to the sound effects of all of the characters, here's another one. I generally would never ever listen to this, to be honest with you. But it's nice that they've got it there anyway, in case you want to have a look through this. And then we have music. Now this is something I would listen to. I love the music in the Samurai Shodown games, and as we can hear here, it's pretty decent. It's definitely reminiscent of the old or the previous Samurai Shodown games. I just love it. I just love the whole setting for, as we can see there, Samurai Spirits version 1.01 update file ready to install. Won't do that now though. Just carry on listening to this music, come out of that. But no, it's just great. The whole feel and style of these games I've always loved. Here we have the artwork, so congratulations. So I'm assuming that's when you complete the game or the story mode with each of the characters. Here you have different intros and movies, prologue, mid-battle cutscenes, etc., which you'll lock, I'm assuming, as you play through the story mode. So let's go into the story, where you take on the CPU opponents. I just love the whole feel of the Samurai Shodown games. To me, I'm a big fan of the old samurai movies. To be honest with you, in particular, and I've mentioned this many times before, Shogun Assassin or Lone Wolf and Cub, as it was known. It was a series of films. I think there was 4 or 5 films. I've got the box set actually on DVD, and what they did, they took those films which were traditionally subtitled and didn't have a funky soundtrack, and they sort of merged the best bits of the first 2 or 3 of the films, I do believe, into one film, and put a funky soundtrack on it. Who was it? Was it the Wu-Tang Clan or something? Yeah, put this funky soundtrack on it, dubbed it, and called it Shogun Assassin, and that's what most people, especially outside of Japan, are familiar with that film as Shogun Assassin. That was my first experience of watching it with my mates back in the 90s or whatever, early 90s or whatever, and it was absolutely great. Really violent samurai film. The main dude in that was brilliant, and he had his little son, and yeah, he was just trying to escape all of the shogun's soldiers and mercenaries and everything from trying to kill him. So yeah, he was just hacking everyone up. But these Samurai Shodown games really remind me of that film and that series of films. To be honest with you, I've always loved that style, and this to me is all about that. So I love the Japanese in these games, and generally I'll just leave the Japanese on and just have English subtitles or whatever. But and I love the traditional music that they have in these games. But here we have the introduction of Charlotte. She was in the original Samurai Spirits games. Backgrounds are pretty decent. Graphics are excellent. The character models as well, not as sharp as some of the more recent games that we've had, but still really good in my opinion. This is good enough for me. So just trying to practice some moves here. Obviously the nearest game to this on the current generation of consoles would be the Soul Edge or Soul Blade, or I think they're known as the Soul Calibur games now. So those were the, I'm not sure what number we're up to now. Are we up to number 5 or 6? Possibly 6. But yeah, I love those games. I'm a big fan of them, and that's the nearest to this. But those games, from what I'm playing so far, those games are faster paced, You can really mash those buttons and pull off combo after combo. Because this is a little bit more tactical. I mean, in all fairness, this plays just like the original Samurai Shodown games. Not so much one I do find a little bit sluggish, a little bit slower. 2 is definitely my favourite out of the series, along with 5 Special. I absolutely love as well. In all fairness, I love all of them, but yeah, number 2. So this plays just similar to that, albeit with enhanced graphics, sound effects and everything else. But no, it's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. Those games are still really playable even today, and I do often put the Neo Geo AES on, but in particular I play on my Neo Geo MVS arcade cab, and I do play these Samurai Spirits games, but like I said before, they are really tough. We have some more loading. I'm a bit concerned about the loading. It doesn't take anything away from the game. I'm still thinking that this is fantastic. Here's a character I remember. I hate his dog that he sends towards you to take chunks out of you. Backgrounds are good again, nice and bright. There he goes. Oh, jumped over that. Did a nice little combo. Yeah, I'm definitely finding this easier than the previous games. It could be to do with the difficulty setting that it's on. I do think it was on the default setting actually of number 3. I'm not sure what it goes up to. I probably could have cranked this up a little bit higher. It's not a bad thing. I mean, that's the thing that got me about the original Neo Geo games, was how difficult they were. But you know, they were designed as arcade games to initially anyway, to just take your money, and they wanted you, the designers of the games, creators of the games, wanted you to put as much money into the machines as possible. That's what it was. So they were bloody difficult. Oh, chopped him in half. So you've got the dismemberments in it, so I had to enable them in the options. You did have those in the early Samurai Shodown games, I do believe. I'm not sure if you had them in the first one. You certainly had them in the second one though. And 5 Special, I remember them in. I think they were in the previous ones as well, but don't quote me on that. Number 5 didn't have the fatalities as far as I'm aware. That's why they then sort of redesigned it and did 5 Special, and that had all of these dismemberments in it. At least for the MVS anyway. I know that the AES version of 5 Special, there were a couple of different versions of that. There was fixed and unfixed, and it was to do with I think some sword attack or suicide or something. I don't know the exact specifics. Something went on back in the day when they were about to release that game on the Neo Geo AES, and they decided to recall the copies that had been sold of that game, and they fixed it. So generally that copy of the game for the AES these days goes for thousands. The fixed version goes for less, but it still goes for a lot of money. But the unfixed version of the game I've seen for, I think, about 4,000 or 5,000 on the auction sites. So yeah, that's one that I will never ever have in my collection. I may get that for the Neo Geo MVS. That's the only one I need in the series. I do have 1 to 5. on my MVS original cartridges, and just 1 to 2 on the AES. But 5 special I would like to buy on the MVS. But again, that one can go for about £600 or about $1,000 or so Australian dollars. So that one will have to wait until I've got a bit more money. Unfortunately, when you wait, the prices generally go up. But we'll see anyway. Love the stage on this one. Love the music as well. Music is excellent. And again, I finished her with a special move and chopped her in half.
突然襲いかかってきやがって危ねえな。どっかの資格か？なんか恨みでも買ったかね。
These are quite basic as well. When you win, you just get this static screen here with obviously the English subtitles, which I've enabled, but the Japanese dialogue. You get these little cut scenes though every now and then. Okay, so is this a boss or something? Ah, and I've unlocked a mid-battle cutscene 1. So that's how you unlock them. You just play through the story mode, and those are the movies that we saw in the gallery earlier that were all locked. This is pretty good, where he runs in. I recognise this character as like a kabuki man, or dressed up, hopping around on one leg. He's exactly the same as the original games. He was in the original games. I found him really annoying, but graphics are superb. I'm over the moon with what they've done in this game so far. Some devastating special attack moves, and as we saw there, the rage meter of the opponent went right up then. He was flashing because I had taken a large chunk of his health down. Hopping around on one leg. Use my rage meter. See if we can finish him off. Oh, that's a good move, powerful. Oh, missed. And because I missed with that attack, I really paid for it because he used his rage meter. So that was pretty good. Well, not for me, but here we have the final round. This guy always causes me grief though in all of the Samurai Shodown games. And killed him, won that round quite easily, but I was just cheesing it a bit with the special attacks. And as we saw there, my character threw his sword up in the air and then held the sword holder. I'm not sure of the correct terminology for it, and then caught the sword in that. And I do believe he did that in the original Samurai Spirits games. Now I was timing that loading then, and that went on for well over 20 seconds, almost 30 seconds. Now that is a lot of loading. I mean, okay, yeah, it's only 20-30 seconds, but yeah, that's considerable by today's standards. So that's a bit of a shame. Oh, this guy, who I'm not actually sure he's brought enough weapons with him. But I remember him from the previous Samurai Shodown games. I don't believe he was in the original one. He may have been in number 2. I'm not too sure. I do sort of get them mixed up, all the Samurai Shodown games, to be honest with you. Got birds flying in the background. I love that when you activate the rage meter. The colour changes in the background. Oh god, what's going to be good, is it? I love all this special moves as well. I only just won that one. I didn't even have my sword. He got my sword off of me. Look at my character's face as well, all bloodied up. It's really good effect.
Uzuki.
Yeah, 28 seconds the loading was then between the matches. So that's not great really. Could have done with being at least half that. Oh, this is an old character from the original games. He always used to kick my ass as well, this one. So, eye patch and his double swords. Then the backgrounds are fantastic, the lighting. Nice combo.
勝者青丸。よし。2本目勝負。
It is strange because it is almost like you are playing the original Samurai Shodown game or games, but just with sort of like the controls and how tight the controls are and how responsive and how it plays and the special moves, most of them anyway. It's just like you are playing the old games, but just with this overhaul of graphics, just with this new graphics just overlaid over the top of it. It's which isn't a bad thing. What the hell was that? Oh, he cheesed it with a fatality there. And I had activated my rage meter. Incidentally, I've noticed that your rage meter, you only get one per match. So if you use it like I did there, and it all goes pear-shaped, then and you get taken out by the enemy opponent with a choosing fatality move, which I did, then the next subsequent round you don't get the rage meter. So yeah, there's a lot of tactics involved in this game. Oh, overshot that move. That's the dangerous thing about that. I pressed the wrong button. I meant to just use a medium attack and I would have actually hit him, but I used the... I'm going to lose this, aren't I? I told you I always have problems against this guy. Oh, overshot it again. Oh, stabbed me straight through the heart. Okay, so unfortunately he's won that one. I might quickly see how quickly it takes to have a... Yeah, let's try rematch instead of going back to the main menu. Let's just see... Oh, okay, that's pretty good. I've known some games where you do a rematch and it will do exactly the same length or duration of loading to set up everything for that rematch, but this one it was instantaneous. Hit the rematch option, and that was it. Back to the same stage with those same characters. I suppose if I changed the character though, then it would have still been you know, 28-second loading. Oh, he's going to beat me again, is he? Victory. I'm not going to take any chances with him this time. Oh, I love that combo. Overshot that again. Chopped him in half, and if you just notice that the once you chop them in half, they fall to the ground. They disappear. I don't know why they've done that. I think they did that in the original games though, when you actually managed to chop them in half, especially the early games. I think that they disappeared in that as well, so maybe that's why they've done exactly the same thing in this reboot of the series. Okay, so we've got another little cutscene here. You can skip all of these, it says there at the top right. You press the square button to skip, but I'll just leave them in just for the purposes of this video so you can all see. Okay, and we've unlocked mid-battle cutscene 2, which will be available in the gallery, the movie section of the gallery. I have to say that's my only criticism with this game so far, and that is the loading. Doesn't bother me too much, to be honest with you, but I know it will bother some people. Look at the size of that weapon that she's got there, and absolutely huge. I was actually going to say something else, but I'll keep this video clean. But she's definitely a new character. I've never seen her before. Not sure if she was in any of the latter Samurai Sports games, but I don't recognise her. Oh, nasty move. Busting out of that top. Ooh. Some devastating moves on her. And you definitely take more health off the enemy when you activate your rage meter. Definitely. So she's done this. Oh, who's won that? Oh, I'm not sure what happened there. I think I still chopped her up and managed to win the round.
俺が目指すは天下無双。こんなところで立ち止まるつもりはないんでね。
三方ヶ原。
久しぶりだな、源十郎。同門のよしみとはいえ、そんな殺気を向けられちゃあな。どっちが上か、そろそろ白黒つけようぜ。
I recognise this guy. He's been in the previous games. Oh, his stage looks awesome. I just love this. I love the whole setting for this. For this game and for this series of games, to be honest with you. The birds in the background, you've got the mountains and the moon. It's just awesome. It really does. If you're a fan of the old samurai movies that I mentioned earlier, then and you love games obviously, then this game will be right up your street. It really will. It's just awesome. Love that, his special moves. He's got the series of cards that he then slices in half, and it's absolutely fantastic. Got me with my back turned then. Oh, that was quite devastating. Won the first round, all bloodied up and battered. I'm not sure how I won that round. I had no health left. So let's get in with the early attacks. Oh, and everything. And I'm missing with my attacks, which probably isn't helping me much. Get a rage meter. Oh, that helped. Took loads of his health off. I'm not going to lose it. And that's the thing, when you mistime your attack, you're left open and you're really punished by the computer. I mean, if I was playing this in multiplayer against a skilled opponent, I'd be absolutely, I'd get totally battered. Just getting with some cheesy special moves, see if we can get his health down. No way I'm going to lose this, surely. Oh no. Yes. And I unlocked another movie then as well. I didn't actually expect this gameplay to go on for so long. I thought I'd be dead after fighting a couple of characters, and I know I did lose one match and then did a rematch, but we'll just carry on until we just die one more time. But yeah, apologies for the length of the video, guys. But really enjoying playing this. I've waited so long for this that, and you guys get to see the character battles and more gameplay. But this is good. Look at this. So this is the boss. Looks like a boss. Okay. See, female showing a bit of leg. Unlocked another movie. You can skip this, but I'll just leave it because I've never seen this movie before. This is the first time I played this game. Characters are excellent in my opinion. Not as detailed as some games, but this is absolutely fine. In my opinion, this is done really well. Okay, this is going to be a cheesy boss. Not sure what I'm meant to be doing. Whenever I get up, whenever I get close to her, she seems to hit me. Just draining my health. Oh, okay. She's lost her, well, her clothes by the look of things, and all of her magical powers today, so let's get some hits in. Certainly don't take a lot of health off though, unless you're using your rage meter. Yeah, that was pretty obvious that I was actually going to die then. So yeah, we've got more of an idea. Let's see if we can do a little bit better. straight in, get some hits in. Still not taking a hell of a lot of life away. Right, let's see if we can get as many hits in as possible. Wasted that really. Doing a bit better this time. I've actually won a round. Amazing. Only just though. Okay, not sure what's happening here. It's only one round each. Another cutscene. She's angry. She's crying. What the hell is that? Look, taken a third of my health away with the first attack, and I didn't even see it coming. Definitely not going to win this round. This is a nightmare. See if we can take some of her health away. Yeah, it's just too much to do then. So unfortunately we lost that one. I'm not going to continue because this video will go on for hours. So let's go to the main menu. And see what else we can look at. We've got the dojo, that's the online battle. We've got the offline battle there, versus, gauntlet, survival and time trial. I'm not going to do any of the online modes because I haven't updated the network features, and I do believe that my I do believe that my PlayStation Network or PlayStation Plus subscription has expired because I did a lot of studying recently. I just wasn't going online. I had no time to game, so there was no point in me renewing it. It is something I'll get around to doing. So I can't play the online modes anyway at the moment, but we'll do survival mode. This is against the CPU again. I'm going to pick this guy who we fought earlier. but I have used him before in the previous Samurai Spirits game, so hopefully I'll be able to do a few of his moves. He's got a deadly set of moves, so let's just yeah, it's deadly moves this guy has. So if this is just a general survival mode, similar to other fighting games, should just be one round against each opponent. Either win or you lose. If you win, then you carry on to the next round. And a trophy there, backbreaker. But you've got the little ref in the background. He's giving me the victory there. He's still got loading. It's not as bad as the story mode because it's the same background. I suppose if they'd changed the backgrounds each time, then it would be longer loading. But, so that's pretty good. Deadly moves, grabs hold of them there. On another round. Yeah, see, that was 9 seconds that loading in between the battles, and that's what you'd expect to see. So to have 3 times that for the story mode, because obviously it has to change the backgrounds and everything else, is a little bit unacceptable in my opinion. That's my only criticism for this game. Everything else is a positive. I've chopped him in half. And I've got a trophy, decisive finish. Oh, chopped her in half. Another trophy. Not too sure she actually hit me. Oh, another trophy cut clean in 2. Oh look, the guy in the background's throwing what looked like confetti or something. He was throwing at me. That's pretty cool. Oh, I hated fighting this girl in the previous games. She was a nightmare with that eagle. I think in some of the games she had, or one of them she had a wolf. I could be mistaken though, but yeah, she was a nightmare. So difficult to fight, or at least I thought so. Right. Chopped her up. There he goes again. Fantastic. Won that one. She did hit me at the end there, but I don't think it counted. Earthquake. Absolutely huge. Oh, I love that move. You grab them and then you're stabbing them in the stomach. And a character like Earthquake, who's so big and has got a massive, massive stomach, massive belly, it's more effective. It looks better against a character of that stature. Oh, chopped him in half. It's definitely easier to play than the previous Samurai Spirits games. At least I'm finding it a lot easier. I mean, there's no way I would have won this amount of battles on the previous games. That was so difficult, but we killed 8 opponents. Wouldn't imagine that, I can't imagine I'll beat many more. This guy usually beats me, as he did in the story mode. Give myself a good chance. Oh, there we go. Chopped him in half as well. I love all of that. That is great. Put my umbrella down and a little frog jumped out of it. It's just brilliant. The little touches in this game. I think this game definitely reminds me of Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5, which I do have on the PlayStation 4. The style of it definitely reminds me of chopped him into pieces. Definitely reminds me of those games, the Street Fighter games. The style of it, the characters, the way that the camera effect goes, and some of the special moves and that. That definitely reminds me more of those Street Fighter games than it does a Soul Calibur game. Even though Soul Calibur is weapons based, this just reminds me of the Street Fighter games more so. I've always been a fan of the weapon-based games though. I mean, Soul Edge is one of my all-time favourite arcade games and favourite PS1 games, and I do have that on PlayStation 1 and original arcade PCB, which I did a video of that recently, and just always preferred the weapon-based games. And I think that's why I always like the Samurai Spirits game. Another character, but this is really well done in my opinion. There's that frog again. It's fallen out of my umbrella. Galford and his trusty dog, wolf or whatever it is. You don't actually hit the animals in this, which I can't remember if that was the case in the original Samurai Shodown games. Not sure if you hit the animals or not. Oh, chopped him up. His dog's not happy. Okay, we killed 12 opponents. I'll keep going until I die, which I'm assuming is going to be soon. If I do die, guys, then thanks for watching the video all this way. I do appreciate it. If you like the video, please hit the like button, and if you like the content of my channel, please subscribe for more videos. I do intend to do more videos of this nature for games on the PlayStation 4 in the not so distant future. I've been picking more games up for the system, more sort of current gen games, and I do hope to feature more content on this Samurai Spirits reboot game. I've enjoyed playing through this, so maybe I'll do some playthroughs with some of the characters, and also I want to revisit some of the earlier Samurai Spirits games, which I have on the MVS. So I might actually feature those on my channel as well at some point. But yeah, we beat Earthquake, so we'll carry on. Can't imagine this will go much further, but we're back round to fighting Charlotte. I do believe we fought her at the beginning. Let's see if we can beat her again. I'm really impressed with this game though. I mean, I am a fan of SNK and Neo Geo anyway, as you guys know. And when I learnt that this game was coming out, I just couldn't believe it. I did think it wouldn't live up to the hype and the expectations, but after playing this, it's a pleasant surprise. I really love this. I would still play the old 2D versions of the fighting game series, because I love those. You know, I would never stop playing those. But this game, I can see myself spending a lot of time on this, playing this in, you know, in the two-player mode and online even. But even just going through the story mode, survival and battle modes, I could see myself doing that as well. But yeah, really pleasantly surprised with this game. I was so looking forward to it. Paid, like I said in the unboxing, about £80 for this game. I know he's going to beat me, I'm thinking. Right, let's get some hits in. But I wanted the limited edition version of the game, the collector's edition, so that was worth it for me, because I'm a huge fan of this series of games. I probably wouldn't have done it for any other game. Oh, can I make a comeback? Oh, it's close. It's close. Oh, he blocked it. Oh. And I finally lost, guys. How many did I kill? 15 opponents defeated. That's not bad for my first attempt at survival mode. A new record, 15 players beaten. I'm quite happy with that. Total time. It didn't take me long to dispatch those enemies. Back to the main menu. Let's have a quick look at the gallery, see what we've unlocked. And there you have it, all of those, it kept flashing up on the screen. We unlocked all of these. There's still a few more. Obviously, if I had completed it, I would have got the ending and everything. But that's the end of the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in another video. Cheers, guys. Bye.